Ooh. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Chloe, and we are doing brioche dough today. I am using, I should get like product placement for this, but I don't. I'm using the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook as per usual because we've never made brioche today, or we have never made brioche before. And Ken is going to be joining me on this one. He is going to be co-starring in some of my cooking stuff from now on, or starring because he does most of the cooking in this house. But we're going to go ahead and make some brioche dough. The plan is ultimately we're going to be making some cranberry orange rolls for breakfast for tomorrow. So this is going to be done in two parts. Today we're going to be setting up the dough and the filling, and then tomorrow we'll actually be assembling it. So we're just going to do a little bit. What's that?
I need to go check on the liquor downstairs for the filling.
That's fair. We do need liquor for the filling. We don't need it, but we're going to use it. Okay, so the first step here is just that I got to activate the yeast for this. So I'm going to flip the camera in the correct position. There we go. That actually worked. I'm proud of myself. I'm getting better at moving the camera. I am just using a regular pack of yeast. This is Red Star brand. This expired in September 2020, but we're not worrying about that. It's only a little bit expired, right? And for this, we're supposed to dissolve the yeast in a quarter cup of warm water. It says 105 degrees Fahrenheit to 115. We're just going to pour out of the tap and get what we get. Unless you really want to bust out a thermometer for this. Ken is saying no. He does not want to bust out a thermometer for this. So I've got my little bowl and
Full hot's going to put to 200.
Is it really that hot?
Yeah.
105 to 115. Do you feel like that is 105 to 115?
That is.
I always feel like water is hotter than or colder than I think it is.
That's because.
Like if I guess that it's 55 degrees, it's actually 70 degrees. Okay, so I have, yes, quarter cup of warm water. You know what? Let me pour this in first. We did not pull together all of the ingredients for this in advance like I usually do because this has to sit for 5 minutes. So I figured that'll be a good time to do that in. What are you pacing for?
Nothing. I was moving my beverage.
Oh, okay.
Out of the way, and I'm going to start getting ingredients out.
Okay. So that is going to just be put to the side for it to do its thing. I've literally never done this before. Do you think I should stir this? I'm just going to slosh it around a little bit.
Give us a slosh.
It's just a slosh.
Is it self-rising or all-purpose flour?
It is all-purpose flour for this.
Okay.
Oh, it's like jammed up in the corners and stuff. I don't know what we're doing. We're just doing it, y'all.
That's mixed well for activation.
He knows better than me, apparently. Okay, so this is, oh, you know what I really wanted to do in advance and did not do was pull out the bread hook. So we got the KitchenAid out. Oh, perfect. The bread hook was right there. And this says the let's get, oh geez, 5 to 10 minutes. Excuse me while I break everything. Everything is fine. We're doing well today. I was productive this morning. I got actual work done, and I've been bad about that lately. So I feel like everything's going to go good today. Okay, so we've got our mixing bowl. And again, I can't stress enough that we're going directly from the recipe because we don't know what we're doing this time. So no innovation here. We're just going to do what it says. So in a large mixing bowl, we're going to beat together a ½ cup of butter. For some reason in this recipe book, it didn't say to soften it, but also there's literally no way to beat butter if it's not softened. You could do other things, but not. There's no way to just mix it. So
cut it in with a pastry cutter, but that takes forever.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It would have different directions if that was what it wanted us to do. If it says beat butter, it is absolutely talking about a softened stick. And then I need 1/3 of a cup of sugar.
Sugar is on the stove top there.
Sugar is already on the stove top. Perfect. We got some brown eggs happening today.
Yeah,
that is a 1/2 cup.
Going with the cage-free, grain-free, large, organic eggs today.
We don't need to do that, but we're doing it.
They were a gift to us.
We are not organic, free-range, cage-free people. Also, this sugar is clumped, so I'm gonna use here. Let me dump this back in.
I'm gonna use the canister.
I'm gonna use the canister, and then if you want to like smash that up, you can add it to the canister. I didn't realize that we had an extra thing of sugar going. Hopefully, as we keep going with this show, like not with today, but like with our little cooking thing that we're doing, we're gonna get better with our supplies. And also like cleaning the kitchen, but baby steps.
So we got some dishes in the drying rack that happens.
Yeah. Okay. So I want 1/3 cup of sugar, and I want 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
Fresh for anything of salt.
Nice. I pretty much never use salt if I don't have to. But again, I've never done this before, so let's not mess around with it until we know what it does. I don't know if this salt is for flavor or for chemistry. And of course, we can mess with flavor, but we cannot mess with chemistry.
And baking is chemistry.
Chemistry, absolutely. 3/4 of a teaspoon. I am going to be smart and pour it over this instead of over the mixing bowl. So if it over pours, I don't dump a ton of salt into this. And that is one of those super important tips if you're not used to cooking. This is one of those little things that can destroy everything. That all it took was, it's super easy to not do. You just got to be smart about it. Okay, so I've got the butter, the sugar, the 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and I want to mix them with the electric mixer until fluffy, which means I feel like I want to whisk for that, right?
Yeah.
The whisk attachment?
I'll use the whisk kind of.
That's right there.
You want to break it up, make sure there's no clumps or anything.
This is another thing, like which attachment you use on your mixer really does make a difference. So for this, we're going to use the whisk just because it's what's going to chop up the butter the best. But it also aerates. And so for a lot of recipes, you don't want that aeration. You certainly don't want it when you're making dough. You want one of these hooks for dough. And because even though I softened it in a warmer environment, it's still not softened enough. We're gonna fight this a little bit.
Turn up the speed next time.
I will. I feel like he talks quietly, like he thinks you guys can't hear him, but y'all can hear him perfectly fine.
I hope you can hear me. Sorry.
You're whispering secrets to me. No, nothing's secret here.
No, I'm not trying to hide anything.
Don't mind me, I forgot to scrape down his edge.
What can I pre-measure?
I don't know. What can? Oh, 4 cups of flour you can pre-measure.
Oh, okay.
Right? You asked for it, you got it.
Okay, I'm gonna use this bowl then. Will it show how to measure a cup of flour?
No, we're good. We'll do that on camera in other shows. This was just a conversation about how to measure flour. Flour is a pretty easy one. If you want to go fancy and sift it, like that's always a good idea, but like we're mostly lazy people who don't get out the sifter that often.
Plus, our sifter's not big enough for 4 cups.
Oh yeah. Our sifter is definitely, we'd have to sift it a cup at a time. So like, don't say I'm telling you not to sift. The smart thing to do is sift, but we're not sifting. And then tomorrow we're going to be like, why didn't this work right? I don't know.
Maybe we should sift our flour. No, that can't be it.
You know, it's really funny when you watch the baking shows, because you see people do stuff like that all the time, where they're like, you know, but like it's. What I see is people be like, oh, well, I didn't soften my butter, so let me just nuke it in the microwave until it's melted. And I know, as somebody who already knows these things, that you absolutely can't do that. But then we're here like sifting flour, whatever. All right, I'm going to call that fluffy. I don't know. It's more creamed than fluffy. But also, like, how fluffy can something like this get? So we're doing it. And, like, eventually the butter is going to break. So I can't do this forever. So I'm calling that. This is fluffy. I probably don't need to scrape down like I'm doing right now, but that's okay. Okay, so that was the butter, sugar, 3/4 teaspoon salt with an electric mixer until fluffy. And then we are going to add 1 cup of the flour and a 1/2 cup of milk. I mean, it doesn't, you don't have to be super anal about it.
Well, here's your flour, prepped and pre-measured. And 1 cup of milk, you said?
1/2 cup.
1/2 cup of milk.
Yeah? Yes.
Now, this is something I insist on is nice organic milk.
Oh, yeah, we do use organic milk here, but neither of us are really heavy milk drinkers. I don't drink milk at all because I'm lactose intolerant. So, like, you know, when it's in a baked good, that's fine. I'm totally fine with cheese. If it is a cooked milk, I'm good with, but like, I cannot drink a cup of milk. So, with that in mind, like, get the good stuff, right?
Yeah. Why skimp on milk if that's what all you're having then?
Okay. So that was 1 cup of flour and the milk. Ooh. All right, I'm going to scrape down the side, and then it looks like I'm at that point now where I should probably be using a dough hook soon. Oh, but you know what? I got to add the eggs first. So I think I'm going to stick with the whisk for just one more step before I switch attachments. So one of the things I like about this cookbook is that it calls for 4 eggs, but it wants the first egg separated, and it just wants the egg white in here. It's not because this recipe needs 4 egg whites and 3 eggs or 3 egg yolks. It's just we're gonna need an egg white later, so let's be practical here and throw that or egg yolk. I'll need an egg yolk later. So
wait, do I need the yolk or the white?
I need the tonk. I need the egg yolk in this. I need the yolk and 3 eggs plus that. So 4 yolks. And then that egg white will be refrigerated for later.
Yes, I put it in one of the glass Tupperwares with a lid.
Yay!
Later episode, I'll go over separating egg yolks and whites.
Yeah, I've done it a few times.
Oh.
But like the shell way.
That's what I did.
Yeah. But like I don't know. I was complaining the whole time I did it last time because of all this like use a disposable water bottle. Like, just separate the yolk. Just grow up and separate the yolk like an adult.
You mean you don't want a ceramic egg separator?
Or that. Some people use their hands, and like I get it, it does help, but also I don't want to hold an egg. That's gross. That's gross for me. It's gross for the egg. Like normally I'm not somebody who's like we need gloves for every single thing we do, but like I feel like washing my hands with egg into a bowl is bad. Okay. So we are going to mix this. I need that spatula back.
Why I just washed it.
Okay. I'm going to scrape this down, and I'm going to go ahead and add that yeast now as well.
And switch to dough hook?
No, I'm going to add the yeast and then switch to the dough hook.
Okay.
Because that's another liquid.
Oh, we're done with the milk?
Yes. I feel like, so this is funny, I worked in a bakery for years, but not as a baker. And now I'm like, I should probably be asking my baker friends exactly when I should switch to dough hooks. But now is not the time for that.
Oh, I was a line and prep cook. Didn't do any baking.
Yeah, no. Like I've got friends who are complete experts on this thing, but I asked enough questions, but this was not one that I thought of at the time.
And none of them are here.
One of them used to live here, and we miss him.
Yes.
But he's not here now. He's like 3 miles away. Why is he meowing?
The closed door to the guest room.
Oh no, we closed a door.
Well, we had reopened it, and he saw that there was a room there.
Oh, right.
And then we reclosed it.
That's what this thing is. Okay. So one last mix with the whisk. If you're wondering why I just got really anal with cleaning it, there's no reason why. I just did it. And then I was like, oh, I just need to scrape off the sides. That's okay. All right, so this just said beat well, which in my mind says turn that up to a 6.
Does it go to 11?
It doesn't. It goes to 10.
Oh, man.
I guess we probably should use a separate bowl for this, because this one's going to be pretty dirty by the end of it.
Well, we have our wonderful green bowls.
I mean, we could just use that flour bowl.
We'll just use the ceramic green bowl instead of plastic bowl.
Okay, so this is the point where I'm going to start incorporating that flour, right?
Yes.
Yes, stir in remaining flour until smooth. So this is the time when I do actually need to get this really anally clean.
Oh, these aren't needed?
Yep. So I mentioned this to everybody else yesterday, but to you, Cindy the other day said that like one of her biggest things with cooking now is figuring out how to not make a disaster while she's cooking. And I'm like, there's literally only one way. Like, here's my secret. Here's what you do to keep from a mess when you're cooking. You clean. You clean constantly. There is no way to avoid making a mess in this process. The only thing you can do to contain it is to clean it as you do it. But it's not like with other things where, you know, you can just learn to be less messy. There is a certain line with that, but not.
I've always been
at the end of the day, yeah, at the end of the day, you just clean. Is it irritating? Yes. Do I hate cleaning? Yes, but I like cooking, and that's the trade-off. Okay, and I just got this stuff everywhere, but that's okay. All right, so we got that down. It does not say to add the flour in parts.
I would.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going with that. This recipe seems to be lacking some directions. I will say, again, I love this cookbook, but one of the problems with Better Homes and Gardens is they've been publishing this cookbook for, oh, good heavens, this is the
90 years.
This is the 100 year, right? Oh, no, you're right, it is 90 years.
1930 was the first edition.
They've been doing this for 90 years now, and so I think some of these recipes don't really get updated. So these things that, you know, 90 years ago, you'd be like, well, obviously I need to do that. We don't do anymore. Okay, so that is the dough hook. And we're just going to let it do its thing. It's not going to mix nearly as fast, but that's okay. It's not going to be like that whisk where it just grabs everything up, but it's more delicate, and that is the important thing. And it also, it's kind of simulates kneading a bit. So I'm going to let this run, and then I'll scrape down those sides once that gets more incorporated in the center. But you guys could probably see that it is slowly pouring in, or pulling in that trough that's on the side. It's also not something you should be running at a high speed. This is absolutely as fast as I am going to go with the dough hook. But yeah, you guys could hopefully see that it is pulling down a lot of the excess. It's happening more on this side that you can't see, but that's okay. Okay, so that is looking pretty good for that run.
Definitely starting to get thicker and more dough-like.
Yeah. This is absolutely going to be a dough by the end of it. Not that I was not thinking it would be, but
Hey, my chunky furball. You give up on the door?
Dad, get me in the door.
I want to see what's in that door. I know there's a door there.
Things might have changed since I was in there a half hour ago.
I've told you how he has the, nightly regiment now of screaming and yelling at the door from my bedroom to the nursery.
Yes.
There's not even a baby in that nursery yet.
He doesn't care about that. He's probably going to hate the baby.
No, that's Chunky Monkey. He loves everybody.
I mean, that's not true at all, and you know it. She loves everybody. He hides from most people. And now, with the pandemic, he hides even worse. It used to be something where, so there's the two of us who live here. If we had like 5 people here, he'd be totally cool with 5 people in the house. And then on Saturday, the most we had in the house was 5 people, and he was hiding the entire time.
He's always good when my girlfriend comes over.
Yes.
When she's here, he wants attention from her.
Yes.
Not as much as Princess does. She's
a whore. Oops. Excuse me.
Liberated kitten.
One of our cats is a whore and we still love her. Whores are people too, or in this case, cats.
I believe the proper term to use nowadays is sex worker.
That's right. Only fans. Oh my God, we should have an OnlyFans for our cat. That's a joke. That's a joke. We're not doing that.
I was just thinking
because
that.
Lord knows people have some sick fetishes out there and they will take that the wrong way.
Rule 34. We're not doing that to my cat.
No, we're not. Lord knows there's probably some like real messed up furry out there. I have nothing against furries, but like there's some messed up furries out there. Okay, so this is going to be the final run of the flour. And then from this point, we're done with the dough. Once this gets itself smooth, we're going to put it into a greased bowl and we're going to cover it. So this recipe has two different directions. You can either let it rise at a warm place for 2 hours and then let it chill for 6 hours, or you can just let it chill for 12 to 24 hours. See how that's all caught up on the dough hook now? That is how dough hooks work. And that's also why KitchenAids have locks. It needs to be greased.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Regular oil?
I would just use Crisco on it.
Okay.
Crisco, if you're not in the U.S., apparently this is something that is U.S. only, or I would imagine Canada also has it. It's just, it's vegetarian lard. We had a whole conversation about this before where I couldn't come up with the right phrasing for it, but it is the consistency and the function of lard, but it is made with vegetable oil. And it happens, like one of the places where it shines is greasing things because it's solid, so it sticks better.
I just put some on a paper towel or
Exactly.
clean kitchen rag so I keep my hands clean.
Yeah, because it's real gross. I'm not gonna lie, it's like the grossest substance in the kitchen.
You've never worked with real lard, have you?
Oh, that's fair. I've literally never worked with real lard in my life. So I cannot compare it to real lard.
Crisco is nicer to work with than real lard.
Okay, so I'm going to need your opinion on this.
Okay.
It says stir in remaining flour until smooth. Is this smooth?
Yes.
Is this Carlos Santana smooth?
I would say that's more of a Bruno Mars smooth right there.
I judge that reference.
Would you have rather me said late 90s Backstreet Boys?
I mean, obviously, absolutely not.
Because we all know NSYNC was the smoother band.
I don't have opinions on either of them. I don't know which band is which.
Hashtag make Joey Fatone great again.
Yeah, that was NSYNC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a picture with him, remember?
Yes, you do. A recent picture, though, in case anybody is thinking that in NSYNC's fan day, you were actually able to get a picture with him. This was from like 2 years ago at Dragon Con.
Yes.
He's old and a has-been now, which is okay. I'm not judging him for it.
I'm old and has been now.
Okay, so this is our dough. It is dough-like. Obviously, it hasn't done all of that rising and all of that fun stuff yet, but we are just going to put it into this grease the bowl for directions. Oh, geez, it's so hard.
Yeah, it's going to be a very sticky dough.
Remember? Oh, yeah. We were warned by one of my baker friends that it was going to be extremely sticky, and he was not lying. He also said, like, you know what, that is too enriched for sticky or
Cinnamon rolls.
For cinnamon rolls. And I said, well, I need to let it rest overnight because, like, this is a morning thing, and we don't know what we're doing, so we don't want to mess with times. And this stuff does need to rest for many, many hours. So he was like, oh, yeah, go ahead and use that then. Okay, so we are, no.
Oh, you don't have it all yet?
We're at that part of the show where I give up and use my hands.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I'm a professional. And by that I mean, I don't bake, but I do.
We're only serving this to our friends and family?
As a cake decorator, pretty much every single day in that career, I had this moment. You know what? I'm just using my hands. Whatever. I wash my hands a lot. It's fine. Okay, so
there's going to be 4 of us for breakfast, and looking at that dough, we are going to have so much leftovers.
That's going to be great.
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's last Thanksgiving when we brought leftovers to people. We lost a friend recently, and like right before he passed.
The day before.
Yes, the day before he passed, we brought him Thanksgiving leftovers. And so every once in a while, you move on. It is what it is. But you have those moments every once in a while where you just think, oh, I could bring this to Joe, and I can't bring it to Joe. So you just have those moments. But it's life. All right, so I am going to wash my hands, and then we're going to move on to the next part, which is the filling that we're making now, so we don't have to make it tomorrow morning.
Is this a cover to let rise or leave?
Oh, it just says cover, yes. I usually, with stuff like this, put plastic directly on the surface of it.
I have a very big handicap at using plastic wrap. So we're going to attempt this, and don't laugh at me too much. But if you want to laugh, feel free, because
I'm going to say that this is one of those things where everybody has the same handicap. It's just whether you accept it and move on. Or you give up and use scissors.
don't judge me.
Okay.
You give up and use your hand, I give up and use scissors.
That is covered. It says the chill dough for 12 to 24 hours. I'm going to poke it in an hour to make sure that this covering has stayed on and that we don't need to put a bigger piece on it. But other than that, we're going to come back to this at about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Probably a little earlier than that, but whenever we drag our asses out of bed. And we'll revisit this. Okay. In the fridge. Chonky, you're looking very majestic right now. Okay, so the filling.
Well, we're going to need to reduce the orange for the orange one.
So this is something that we are 100% winging because whatever, it's filling. It just needs to taste good. I'm also going to be making probably way more than I need to, but that's okay. I'm going to start with an entire stick of butter, unless you protest that in any way.
No, I am fine with that. My question was, would you like for me to make some kind of orange caramel sauce over here to go with it? Like, you want me to melt a little bit of sugar?
To top it or to throw in here?
To throw in there for the filling.
I feel like it will just cook itself. This is part of cooking, y'all.
Well, because I got to reduce the orange juice. I didn't know if you want me to add some sugar to that to kind of caramelize it up a little bit.
Oh, that'll probably help the process, right? So, yes. Also, were you able to find orange liqueur?
Yes. I have product placement, Cointreau, not Grand Marnier.
We are using Cointreau in this. If you don't have any orange liqueur, if you are somebody who does not use alcohol in your cooking, don't worry about it.
I'm only using this because I need to get it out of the liquor cabinet.
Yeah. Sometimes stuff like this just makes you feel a little bit fancier, and that's why you do it, but really, you're not. Oh, but let me zest those first.
Yeah, I know. I'm just getting them out to zest. And
Gotcha.
I have this some pulp juice that's not good for the mimosas in the morning.
Oh, perfect. We're going to use what we have, and that's a big part of cooking, too.
Did you already take that whole stick of butter?
I did.
Okay.
Did you want butter?
No, I'm boiling down citrus and sugar, so I should not need butter.
Yeah. Okay, so I have zested oranges on this show before, but this bears repeating. When you zest an orange, first of all, I'm using a microplane, and I highly recommend using microplanes for it. But let me explain a little bit to you about oranges. So you see that I have zested this some. Right here, this is tasty goodness. This dark orange, that's where the skin is. This is what I'm taking off of it. This stuff right here, this lighter part where the outer skin has been taken off, is disgusting bitter grossness. So when you zest an orange, you want to be as careful as possible to not over zest a side of it. And of course, lighting is always terrible on camera, but so like right here, what I've done is good. What I did in that initial thing where I kind of tore into it, that was bad. I just did it for this demo. It's not going to be too much that it's going to ruin it, but that is just something to keep in mind. And if you end up with like this little bit of zest that you didn't get, this is absolutely a time to sacrifice it. We could put some molasses in it.
Would you rather me use molasses, corn syrup, or regular sugar, and with the reduction of the orange liquids?
No, use molasses.
That's what I was thinking. Different sugars do have different flavors, so.
Yes. Brown sugar is a combination of molasses and white sugar. So, if you don't know what actual straight molasses tastes like, just think of the flavor of brown sugar and take the sugar out of it. We're using clementines today because this is what we have. It really doesn't matter when you're cooking what type of orange you use. An orange is an orange. If anything, you might want a bigger orange. You are arguing with me with that. You saw that with what we're doing right now.
With what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
orange is an orange.
Yeah. Oh, did you want to squeeze these? Or?
Yes.
Okay. So basically what Ken is doing is reducing some orange juice, and that just means that we're taking the moisture out of it by heating it gently so that we don't water this down too much. We get like full flavor but half water. But he is also putting some of that molasses in it so that it caramelizes. And I'm not good at explaining the caramelization process.
Well, basically, I'm making an orange syrup, an orange sugar syrup or a simple syrup. But instead of using regular sugar, I'm using the molasses for it. So it's going to be a very intense, sweet orange flavor.
Yes.
Because I'm removing excessive moisture as I blend the orange and the sugar together.
Yes. And like a lot of cooking. So
the caramelization process is a chemical reaction.
Yes.
Basically, the melting and restructuring of the sugar crystals.
Oh, right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of reductions here. I'm not a fan of extracts. I don't think Ken is a fan of extracts either. So like obviously I use vanilla extract and almond extract in my baking because it's just kind of essential. But if I don't, you know, it's hard to Vanilla beans are real expensive, so I could use straight vanilla bean, but I don't because money. That's Ken's phone. Don't mind that.
Hold on, I will get it as soon as my hands are not.
No, it's fine.
Covered in orange.
And then almond extract. Almonds. There's no way really to get an almond taste into things without an extract or using actual almonds. So obviously, when you're making a cheesecake, you can't. There's no option with that. So we use those 2 extracts. Other than that, we tend to do reductions here. They taste better. And it's easy. You just got to be attentive, which I tend to not be. But that's okay. That's why there are now 2 of us in the kitchen, except one right now because he had to take a phone call. Okay. So that's all of the zest that we're putting in. That was zest from 3 mandarins, which was probably the zest of about a navel orange. And then I'm going to do a splash of this Cointreau, just a splash. It was probably about a tablespoon. I don't know. This is something that if we're going to start like writing out recipes, we need to get better at. But for right now, it's probably about half a tablespoon right there. Oh, hey, Prona, thanks for joining. We've already made the brioche dough. That is in the fridge and sitting until tomorrow. Right now, we are doing the filling. Ken is with me today, but he is on the phone right now. And I am looking for cranberries, so I'll be back in just a moment. There they are. Okay. So I've got the cranberries, and I also need, the pecans. So Ken got these cinnamon glazed pecans as a present, I guess, a Christmas present from somebody he's got a professional relationship with. I don't know, they're good, but we figured why not throw them in here? And that is very much how all of our cooking goes. Well, we have this, so let's just use this. It tends to work out pretty well. So obviously, for a filling for a sticky bun, these are way too big. So I'm going to be busting out the food processor in a second. But first, I'm going to eat one to see how it is. Ooh. They're good, but they're more sugar than anything. Like, I can't really taste the pecan in it. That's okay. Oh. I need to wash my food processor. I'll be back in a second. Oh. Never mind. Because we're in the dishwasher. It's clean. We got fresh out the fresh out the dishwasher food processor. Okay, so I'm using my little guy for this. I don't know how well this food processor is going to handle these, but we'll find out in a moment, right? So I'm going to mute while I do this because this is real loud, and I'll be back in just a minute. All right, so this actually processed better than I thought it was going to. I guess after the Cocoa Puffs disaster the other day, I was like, oh, this food processor just doesn't work anymore, and that's what it is. So I do have a couple of big chunks now that I stir it by hand, but that got pretty good in there. I'm going to pulse this one more time to see if I can get a couple of these big boys down, but I feel pretty good about that. And I'm going to mute one more time. Yes, both of those times I had stupid technical errors in there. The first time it wasn't plugged in. The second time, because the blade wasn't attached properly. But so other than this one big guy, I'm just gonna eat this one big guy, y'all. Other than that, I'm really nice and ground up in there. So right now I've got a stick of butter. I've got the zest of 3 mandarins. I've got about half a tablespoon of Cointreau in there. And now I've got, I don't know, I'll call that a cup. Whatever. A cup of cinnamon pecans. And let me grab something to grind that out. Chonk. So we've got 2 cats, as you guys probably know. They are turning 3 in a couple of months. And for the first 2 years of their lives, they didn't know how to meow. And so now, I don't mind that they meow, but I also think it freaks me out. And I'm like, oh no, the cat's broken. Because I think, well, if they're putting this much effort in, something terrible must be happening. Nothing terrible is happening. He just knows how to meow now.
Oh, you have another one for me? Awesome.
Yep.
Sorry, that was a buddy that I went to high school with and was in the Marine Corps with.
Nice. Okay, so in this, I've got the almonds, the zest, and the butter. I'm going to do a little mix on this right now. Okay. Oh, that butter is so hard. I'm not going to use a spatula for that mix. I'm going to use just a regular metal spoon. One of these days, I'll start checking my butter.
I'm glad I got out this morning at least instead of waiting until now.
Well, it's not that. It's that I've never had a problem getting it down to temperature before.
But we do keep our house pretty cold.
So this is absolutely a problem of us and not of softened butter. We just never get the temperature enough. But I think we're just going to have to start doing actual hacks to soften the butter that are more dramatic than putting it in a slightly warmer room. So I might have bent this spoon, but that's okay. Okay, so this is ready for you whenever you're ready.
Okay, well, let me know how much you want this reduced down, because it is still very liquidy right now.
Okay. We do want it to be reduced quite a bit. Did I bend that? Yes, I absolutely bent that too.
Yeah, I want it to be more of a syrup than a liquid.
Okay.
So.
We'll bend that spoon back. This is just a normal part of the process. And I'm going to go ahead and do a bit of a cleanup while he is working on
I've already washed all the dishes.
That reduction. Yes, but I've got like appliances and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And more dishes.
And there's no way to rush a reduction. You just basically have to let it do its thing.
This is fair. So we really need to wash this thing, so. All right, so we don't need these last 2 sticks of butter that we pulled out for emergency butter. Okay, we are now down to under a box of butter, of unsalted.
Wait. There they are. Wow.
So we were correct in buying it last time.
Yes. Because depending on how much that bread expands, we'll be doing this batch plus maybe a traditional cinnamon sugar.
Oh, that's true.
Actually, I'm going to add, tasting this and everything.
Want to add some of that Cointreau to it?
No, I already added Cointreau to it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I am going to add some white sugar to it.
Okay.
Not much, just a tablespoon. So that's one of the things about cooking like this too, since we're kind of experimenting. I'm trying to taste it rather often to see if it's got the flavor I want.
We are constant tasters in everything we do. Neither of us fear raw eggs, and that is a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm not judging anybody who fears raw eggs, but we're definitely not people who worry about that. So we taste everything as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you want the rest of these to be. The cinnamon glazed pecan.
They can go on the baking rack or wherever. You have room for them.
Yeah.
Oh, did you use them in this?
I did.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're mostly sugar.
Well, they were a gift for one of my clients. I have clients that get me weird things during the holidays, and I appreciate it. How dry is what you have over here? Okay.
Also, there's still the cranberries to go in.
Yeah. But I'm saying I was trying to see, because I'm like, how liquidy do I want this? How syrupy do I want it? So
And I can certainly make this drier by adding more pecans to it.
Yeah.
It is Christmas Eve. It is a day for the phone to be ringing constantly. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I feel like I do want some more pecans in it, but I'm going to wait Just I want like that full flavor profile. And obviously like the thing that's easiest to add is pecan. So if I need more of it, I can do that later. I do think I want a bit more cinnamon in it too. But again, I'm going to wait until I get everything else in here before I start messing with the flavor of it.
That was Aaron. He's sending me more baby stuff that they've outgrown. So he had some questions.
We have been stuck. I don't know where you all are, but we have absolutely been stuck in that post office hell the last couple of weeks. One of my presents to him is probably not going to get here in time, and I ordered it well over a week ago. But you know, it's you do the best you can these days. He's going to be short a present. He'll be getting like a Boxing Day present.
Okay. Just reducing down.
Reducing is fun. So when this show is done, I'm going to take a little break off camera, and then I'm going to be back online to play World of Goo. I will only be on the Twitch channel for that because I've switched to OBS, and I haven't quite decided how I'm going to go about streaming it on both channels, on both YouTube and Twitch. So I'm going to be doing that on Twitch tonight. We're going to be continuing, or this afternoon. Also, I'm eating cranberries while I'm talking because I have no manners. But yeah, so that's going to be happening after this. And then I'm probably going to actually get some more work done.
Yes, I will be going into some family. I do need to shower before that, of course.
Yeah, don't be gross for family.
My girlfriend is on her way up. Kat is on her way.
Awesome.
I think she's already wrapped all her gifts to go under the tree.
And then tomorrow morning, we're going to be finishing this off. And then we'll probably be making a lasagna then.
Yeah, we got vegetarian lasagna going tomorrow.
Yeah, that's how we're doing Christmas this year, vegetarian lasagna.
So we're gonna do a stream of that.
Lasagna is a good one to do.
It's surprisingly easier than most people think it is.
Yep. In the future, we'll do our reductions before the show starts.
Well, Michael, do you have any sugar and just the butter as moisture in there?
Well, so what is in here right now is the butter, the Cointreau, the...
Oh, you had wait, both added Cointreau?
Yeah, I didn't realize you were adding it to that. But yours is all going to completely reduce out anyway.
Yeah, mine's already gone from alcohol.
There's orange zest in here, and then there's those pecans, but those are...
Sugar pecan.
Yeah, they're straight sugar. So there is some sugar in here, but again, I'm waiting on that to...
See if we need more.
To figure out our flavor profile for it.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm probably going to need some more cinnamon in here, and I might need more just straight pecans in here.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can add this and let it do more syrupy thickening in the oven, but I mean, that's still very watery.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It smells good.
Good.
Yeah.
It is the semi-pulp orange juice, Cointreau, molasses, and white sugar. A tablespoon of the sugar, 2 teaspoons of molasses. Oh, and the clementine juice. Since you zested them, I went ahead and squeezed that in there.
So there's literally nothing to see. But that's what's going on over on the other side of the kitchen, as we're just waiting. Just waiting on this thing to reduce. So this is a lesson for everybody. If you do need to make a reduction,
should have done this when we started the dough.
Yeah, like you do it like an hour in advance. If that, like if I'm doing a dessert where I need a reduction, then I will start that reduction during dinner. Because it does take a very long time. It is very effective. I've literally, like during my writing streams, I have put a pot out here to do a reduction. and just let it go on for an hour on like a simmer. Because they do take a while, but they're worth it. It tastes a lot better than just using an extract. Or in the case of that one, it was coffee powder. It was instant coffee that I instead boiled down an espresso. Not boil because that'll burn the coffee, but simmer down an espresso.
Coffee reductions are so amazing to use when you're doing any sort of coffee types of sauce or dessert.
But the recipes just always
simmer.
Well, right, but like a lot of these from these older cookbooks, they always go with that instant coffee. And even as a cake decorator, one of our recipes, we had a mocha icing that was done with instant coffee. But thankfully, we had some Indians in our department, and Indian people love instant coffee. That is very much how they have their coffee in India. So every single time I had to get instant coffee for that stupid thing. And instant coffee, it only has a shelf life of like a year.
Yeah.
So once we had to get that instant coffee off the shelf to make that icing, then we would just give it to our Indian coworkers, and they would love it, and they would have free coffee for a month at work. I was bothered by it, but that's okay. They would like literally make it in our double boiler. It was hilarious.
When I was overseas, I would sometimes mix instant coffee with my dip when I was putting it in. Yeah. Horrible, awful thing. I know a lot of military guys that did it. I do not recommend it. I get that nicotine. Was it caffeine jolts all at once?
Was there I know that there was a flavor, but was that flavor not the most heinous thing ever, or did it not
it was
make that big of a difference?
It was like having late night coffee and cigarettes.
Okay.
Because remember, I drink my coffee black.
Yeah.
I smoked a lot back then.
Yeah, no, I can see that. This is fun.
And I used unflavored dip. I wasn't like wintergreen or any of the mints or anything.
Okay, that makes sense. Any of y'all who are writing and want to do anything military related, there is a little disturbing military thing. But like whatever you do, you do. We were talking about that the other day with like being in military situations, like you just gotta accept that you're gonna be in real weird things, and you do the best of what you got. So if it's instant coffee and dip, then that's life.
You're trying to stay up for 24 hours or more.
Yeah.
That just disgusts you so much.
Well, and it's not even like, I've had dip like once in my life. Once or twice, it was both those little packets. I can't stress enough that we are both roughly 40 years old. Things were very different in the 90s.
Yes.
So I did try it a couple of times, and it was kind of gross. And I've done other things in my life where I know what it feels like to put drugs on my gums. But so I'm just like imagining
the 90s was a weird time.
Yeah, I'm just imagining that with instant coffee right now, and I'm having feels about it. That's a weird one.
So since I do have molasses and sugar in here, I am stirring once in a while, but usually when doing a reduction, you want to try to leave it alone and just let it do its thing.
Yes, and again, if it's something where it's like coffee where it does burn, the only thing with that is you just got to keep it at a simmer temperature instead of a boil temperature, and let it go longer. But that you don't want to stir these.
Yeah, but because I'm at a higher temperature, because I'm trying to rush it, and I have that sugar component in there.
Also, like one of our goals with doing our shows is to just kind of teach little easy cooking techniques that make it look like you're doing something fancy. So this is a good technique also for making a berry filling or berry topping for like pancakes and stuff like that. I don't really care for pancake syrup, but I love pancakes. So we'll do this with like blueberries or strawberries or
I'll be doing
literally
that.
whatever berries are on sale.
I'll be doing it Boxing Day.
Yeah.
In the morning on Boxing Day.
Yep, and we'll add normally like a little bit of sugar. You see a little bit because berries are so tart.
A little bit of water, just enough to even the heat.
Yep, just to get it started because obviously you don't want to be using a dry pan. I normally will jazz it up with just a little bit of spice, whether it's ginger or cinnamon or
lemon.
Yeah, but like it's a real easy, basic way to make it look like you've done something super fancy. That again, you just got to be patient and let it do its thing. But
with the berries, it goes quicker normally.
This is a compote, right?
No, we're doing a...
No. Oh. When you do it with berries.
Yes, it's a compote.
Yes, that's a compote. So every time you hear that fancy term compote, that's all it is. It's this, but with berries instead of this stuff.
I do a cranberry sauce much the same way.
Yes.
For Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's exactly how you should make a cranberry sauce. If you want to do a fancy cranberry sauce, I am very much of the canned whole berry camp on cranberry sauce, but I don't hate on people who make cranberry sauce from scratch, and I understand why people hate on me for doing canned cranberry sauce.
I make the cranberry sauce and I don't even eat it.
Right. And again, because it's one of the best flavor profiles in existence, the secret to a good homemade cranberry sauce?
Orange.
Remember,
mine's an orange. Mine's an orange bourbon cranberry sauce.
Yep. It's boiling over there. I wish I had like a Zoom feature on this, but
I'll look at different cameras in the future, Bree.
Yeah. If this kicks off, we'll make a fancier setup. Have a little cartwheel around and stuff. And put gravit on that.
Yeah, we got friends that do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so. we have quite a few friends since we're in Atlanta. Atlanta has its own little Hollywood going on.
Yollywood,
exactly.
all my friends hate that term, so I have to use it.
It is not where we are. Like there is very much. It's not at all like Hollywood where you would like go walking, but it's Conyers, right? That most of the places are based out of.
Some are. I know because our one friend that's a production coordinator does a lot of work out of Conyers. There's some down on the south side and a few things directly in downtown.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry's studios
That's right.
In downtown.
So we've got our own little film industry here. Because of that, we've got tons of friends who are actually in the film industry. It's funny because I definitely have friends out in LA and they talk about all of the people they know in the film industry. And I'm like, I mean, we know pretty much everybody on The Walking Dead. I personally made cakes that have made it onto TV. For what show was that? That's Supergirl? Stargirl?
Stargirl,
the TV show, not the movie. Apparently there is a scene where they're in a diner and they stocked the diner case with my cakes.
I have sold stuff to lots of productions because with the Georgia tax code, they have to buy so much from Georgia companies.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of things I use in my business, they can repurpose in props to be other things.
So the whole point of this, that was a weird tangent that we went on, but that's why y'all watch my shows for my weird tangents. When we're having times like this where this is just not...
Okay, look how that's looking.
Oh, yeah, we are getting some good reduction there finally.
Yeah.
But one of our very good friends is absolutely the sort of person who like handles the weird shit on film sets.
That's the best way to describe what he does.
Yeah. What's the term for that? There's a term where you just kind of, I mean, it's crew, but where you just kind of handle whatever weird stuff that's thrown at you.
Well, I mean, technically he's a special effects operator.
Yes.
But depending on what movie, that special
He's also kind of an explosive expert. Yeah, if we get into special effects, one of his strengths is explosives.
I mean, he also does lots of things that involve like having to project stuff or do weird sound things.
Yep, he just did a thing for Warnock and Ossoff.
Yep.
where he was projecting ads onto buildings. That was real neat. But yeah, so we might enlist his help to make our kitchen more film friendly if this show goes somewhere.
We'll just take down some walls, redo some cabinets.
Oh, I more meant like give us some sort of a little wheeled rig that we can move around better.
Oh, I just want to tear down that wall.
Also, we do have this wall that we want to tear down. I wish like I could get this camera mount off because so this is our like gross wall right here that we hate. Our kitchen, I don't know how well you could tell from this little spin, but our kitchen is extremely narrow and we hate it. The one perk is, of course, the double ovens, but we would like to tear down this wall right here and extend all the way into that room right there. That wall does now have one of my Bob Ross paintings on it, so we got to be careful about tearing that wall down, but also I screwed this up.
Okay.
Do we think we have the reduction?
I'm
yeah, let's do
happy
it.
with that.
Okay.
I don't want to go too thick of a syrup. I don't want it to be honey thickness or anything.
Yeah. So here we go. We're just going to combine that.
And it's got that color because of the molasses, not because of any burning or anything. Just how super dark molasses is.
Okay. So I'm going to mix this together. This will be easier now because it will melt down. There are no eggs in it this time, so we don't have to worry about scrambled eggs. That the pecan pie recipe last night had raw eggs and melted butter, and there was also no warning with that.
I think my mom's pecan pie recipe for you some time ago. I don't know. Mother,
oh no, I mean,
raw egg in it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just that issue of mixing melted butter with raw egg.
Why I never try to make hollandaise sauce anymore.
Yeah, that they didn't put a warning on it. Okay, so this is what we have. It is pretty saucy.
That's what we want, so it's gonna...
Yeah, because we gotta spread it. And then I'm just gonna dump some of these cranberries in it. I probably... In retrospect, it's too late now by about 10 seconds. I should have put these through a food processor.
That's all right.
Do you want more than this, though?
Yeah, go a little bit more.
Yeah.
I like, for as much as I don't like regular cranberry stuff, dried cranberries especially.
Raisins are great.
Especially in a salad or with the orange and a sticky bun type thing like we're making. Oh, yeah. I think that looks good.
Yeah. Taste it. Does it need more cinnamon? Does it need more sugar? Does it need more pecans?
Ooh, that is nice.
So it doesn't need anything.
I don't think so.
All right.
Give it a taste. What do you think?
We very much taste for each other, but oh yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna take some to my mother out here in the living room. My mother's over right now, by the way, people. So I'm gonna have her come go taste this.
She is currently injured, so. And there we go. So this is the final product for what we are going to fill with. We're going to use this tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and refrigerate it. However, this is going to be extremely thick from refrigerating it, so we will be pulling it out early tomorrow to get it up to room temperature, which should, like, this is a bit thinner than I want it to be for tomorrow, but obviously I don't want it to be a solid mass. So tomorrow early, we'll pull it out of the fridge to get it up to room temperature, and then we'll go ahead and put the buns together. So tomorrow we're going to have another 45 minutes of rise. So we're probably going to go on here at around 8 a.m. to maybe 9.
Yeah, let's
8 or 9-ish.
I feel like aiming for between 8 and 8:30.
Yep, and that of course is Eastern time. He'll get up earlier than that though.
Maybe.
And pull this out of the fridge.
Oh yeah, I'll be up early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to get up early every morning.
I'll be up between 5 and 6.
Yeah. So this is where we're gonna call it for today. And then probably about 3 o'clock. Oh, 3 o'clock is about when you're leaving, right?
Probably closer to 4.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say 4 o'clock Eastern today on my Twitch channel only. I am going to be playing World of Goo. I hope to see you guys then. If not, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon for Christmas. Early morning Christmas breaking, Christmas baking, or noontime sprint. I should have posted this upward for this, but that's okay. So that is my schedule for the next 36 hours. You guys have a great day, and if I don't see you again before then and you are a Christmas person, have a Merry Christmas. Bye guys.
Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. End broadcast.